You waited until I hit record to open that.
Yeah.
Show off.
It's so good. We're sitting in the kitchen. It's, I mean, not exaggerating, probably 87 degrees in here.
More than that.
I didn't want to wear a shirt, but she said.
He's lying.
She said it wouldn't be.
You are starting a lie right now. You do this a lot.
What?
You lie.
I didn't want to wear one.
Yeah, you didn't want to wear one, and I didn't say anything about it. And then I was like, "Oh, you're putting a shirt on." You said, "Yeah, I don't want to get flagged." So don't blame it on me.
Inappropriosity.
He does this. He lies. I've noticed his little lies.
I apologize. Drinking a non-alcoholic, kind of IPA maybe? Pilsner. What are you drinking? Pineapple juice?
Pineapple juice mixed with Italian soda.
What?
Yeah.
Is that good?
No.
Oh.
It's fine. It's like a little mocktail. I don't have any
Never
ice
heard of that.
cubes, so that sucks.
Ooh.
Yeah. I didn't really feel like having a non-alcoholic beer, and you're blocking my wine fridge, so...
It's the dead of summer. Yeah, it's true. We do have wine that we don't drink.
I should start drinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To help with your happiness?
Yeah.
To make you happier?
I bet it would make me happier.
I asked you earlier about your mental health.
Okay.
And you didn't say anything.
What do you want me to say?
How's it doing?
How's anyone's mental health doing? Not great.
Some people's is good, right?
No.
I feel like everybody's under the impression that everyone's doing terrible.
Aren't they, though?
What?
Are you doing good?
Doing all right.
See?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like unhappy and terrible. Doing terrible. Are you?
But would you be like, yeah, I'm good?
Yeah, I mean, but everybody can always improve, right? And grow and do better.
Okay.
What's wrong with your mental health these days?
That was a load of crack.
We had talked about, you have talked about, stop going to your therapist.
Yeah, I need to break up with my therapist. Hopefully she doesn't find this podcast before I break up with her.
Do you have therapy this Wednesday or no?
No, I had it. I was supposed to have it last Wednesday, but I canceled because we were obviously in Colorado.
Obviously.
But so that means I'd have it in 2 weeks. So not this week, but next week. But I need to break up with her. It's not worth $90 a time. She's not teaching me anything. I need to know what people actually are having like in their therapy sessions. Like, how are they helping you? Or is it one of those things where they're like, how are you? And then you say good. And they're like, so tell me about stuff. And you just basically tell them like a recap of your life and all the people you hate or dislike and the drama. And then basically I leave. That's it.
And it's been like that for 4 or 5 years? How long have you been going there? 4 years?
I've been going there, for like 4 years. And I think, no, when I was like in the midst of my eating disorder, she definitely like, we did exercises where like she'd bring my favorite kind of candy and we'd talk about like fear foods and things like that. But
so you initially got her for your eating disorder?
I initially went to my doctor's office, my physician's office, and kind of like had a breakdown. They're like, oh, we're giving you a social worker is what they call it.
Oh.
But then, and so I would see her at the doctor's office, like basically in a normal appointment room. But then she moved to actually being in like a therapy place or like an actual building by herself with like a therapy company, or I don't know how you say, West Michigan Counseling Center or whatever it is. But
that's a lot of information. Chill.
No, I'm just saying like that's an example of like a name, like a counseling center or like a therapy center.
I thought that was the actual name.
No.
Oh, I see.
But anyway, yeah. So, but I think I did have like the final mental breakdown, like when I was in the midst of like the eating disorder, but I didn't get her for the eating disorder. If that makes sense. She actually wanted me to go to like some other lady who was specialized for eating disorders, and I didn't want to give this one up. I should have gave her up. She's so nice though.
Yeah, but can't you, learn on your own and or hire somebody else to challenge you in new ways?
Yeah, I guess I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
Maybe I'm just all better now and I just don't need a therapist.
That's true.
Maybe you've solved all my problems.
People have told me I do that.
You haven't.
Oh.
You want to know why? Because you just make me so tired all the time.
Well, it can be exhausting trying to make you happy all the time and
Excuse me?
running around doing all the chores.
Excuse me?
I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. Whose apartment are you squatting in?
It's so hot.
You're squatting in my apartment. It's not
Yeah.
hard to make me happy. I see the issue is your love language
Acts of
is
service.
acts of service and gift giving, I would say.
Mhm.
A little bit. And I thought for a long time that that was like what I wanted
Mm.
from like a receiving end love language. But now that I have it, I kind of like,
You don't like it?
no, I like it.
Ah,
Don't get me
that's fine.
wrong, but I just would rather have quality time.
Mm.
Like if you're in the kitchen cooking and stuff, like that's nice, but I'd rather you be spending time with me.
How would you eat?
I'm a grown woman. I can feed myself.
Cereal and Pop-Tarts and noodles.
Okay, what's
For-
wrong with noodles?
19 meals a week.
That's not true. I would definitely make myself sandwiches, grilled cheese and soup and noodles.
So wait, you don't like, would you rather me just stop making food?
No, I like that you cook for me.
Oh, okay.
It's just sometimes I feel like what is lacking is quality time.
All right.
Like I want deep conversations and like
That's what we're here for.
no, I don't think you are you don't really have a lot of deep conversations.
No?
You have like normal intellectual conversations,
Mm.
but like I feel like I'd have to pry out any more information than I want.
I got to work on quality time
Yeah.
outside the kitchen.
How do you like to
What if like your partner was working, out in office, like 8 to 6 job?
That's fine.
Mm.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I've definitely had that before. Normal people work an 8 to 5
Right,
job
right.
in an office.
Did you struggle with quality time?
No, because it's just like one of those things where it's like, okay, then when my partner gets home, either I would, since I've primarily been the one who works remote, I would have dinner ready, or we make dinner together, something like that, or go out to eat, and then spend quality time after that would be the ideal. You spend that couple hours afterwards. No
Your-
phones, no like distractions.
Your last partner, husband, you guys both worked remote,
Yeah.
and would you say the quality of time was even less than when you worked in office? Or did he work in office at some point?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He did until COVID
Yeah.
happened. Obviously, we all came home, and then he actually got laid off for COVID. So then he was not working for, I want to say like 3 months, but I could be wrong. And then got a remote job. I wouldn't necessarily say that it went down because we were both remote. I think it went down because the longer you're in a relationship, I think it's easy to settle in, and it's hard to remember to like keep dating each other and continue learning about each other as you like grow and change, because obviously like the person you start dating isn't going to be the same person even a year down the road, 2 years, 3 years. Like you kind of have to keep getting to know them, because things about them and what they like and what they're doing with their life, it'll change. I think it just has to be intentional, and I don't think either of us were intentional, and I think that inevitably in the end it was just easier to form connections with our friends than it was each other. And our quality time was directed that way versus like directed inward in our relationship, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Is it because like one of you or both of you didn't want to do that? Do you think?
I think I remember talking to you a little bit about this the other day, that it almost got like awkward in a way to like hang out with each other. At least I felt that. I can't speak for him, obviously,
Right.
but like in my experience, I almost felt uncomfortable when it was just the two of us, as if like it wasn't going to be fun.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why or when that kind of altered. I just remember it being really fun for a long time and being like wanting the one-on-one time with him. And then suddenly that changing and really only knowing how to be with him when we were like in a group, or like us with a friend, or us with family, or like that, or him like supporting me in my running or like my races, or me doing, whatever I could do to support him. It was never like we never would like sit down at dinner and be like, let's have a conversation about the weather or things that are going on in our worlds or like friends or anything like that. It was basically just like complaining or gossip about outside things
Mm-hmm.
and then hanging out with friends. We were really, really good friends, I would say, definitely. Like, but that's all it felt like is like we were really good friends.
Do you think that, because you guys lived in decent sized house, the second house you had, do you think the size of the house had an impact on your relationship?
Oh yeah,
Because you could basically hide from each other.
I don't even know if it was hiding, but it was just like, to give people who are listening a little bit of context, we first started living in like a single family home that was essentially 2 levels. It had a basement, but that was like a Michigan, they call it Michigan basements. So it's like not completely finished and just basically your washer dryer, that's it. And then we had cats, so cat litters were down there, obviously.
Everywhere.
I love cats. But the second house we moved into was 3 levels, 5 bedroom, I think. 5-ish bedrooms.
That's pretty big for just you
for
two.
2 people. It was very spacious. And
Yeah,
it
it was
kind of,
big.
it kind of just like, I mean, he had always dreamed about having like a basement. He loved, it was always like a weird thing. Not weird, I guess, but
Like a man cave?
not a man cave necessarily, but like a projector and a cool like sectional couch and somewhere to like chill, and like he loved that kind of stuff. So we finally had that, and then I worked on the middle floor, and when he was working remotely, his office was in one of the bedrooms on the top floor.
Yeah.
And we just had super different schedules too, because at that point I was working 7 to 4, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and he was working 10 to 6.
Mm.
So, and then I also had running, so I would get up really early
Yeah. Right.
and run and do all that stuff. And by that time, it was like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I'm exhausted. I just want to sit in bed and like play on my phone or like go to, watch TV there. Versus he was still like wide awake, so he would be playing video games or watching TV in the basement. So I would say like, having that much space as like a young, like new-ish couple didn't do wonders for
Right.
us where we were at in our relationship, where we should have been working on quality time and being together and present in that relationship, I guess.
Yeah, that kind of happened with my family. When we moved here, we got a decent-sized house coming from California, and it seemed like we slowly kind of started drifting apart a little bit. I mean, the kids are growing up, so they're getting their own friends, doing their own thing, but when we had a very small house, super small in California, it seemed like everything was so tight-knit, and we would do everything together. But yeah,
Do you think that changes your outlook on like what you would want for your family? Like, I know a lot of people, even people we know, I'm sure we can name some off the top of our heads, that want like a huge house. They want like the boats. They want like, the American dream kind of thing.
Yeah.
Does that change? Like, what's that like for you then? Do you see yourself wanting more of like a small house?
No, I mean, everybody wants a big house, but I think you have to put in more work.
Yeah.
If it's massive, and or if you only have 1 kid, 2 kids, and you have 5 bedrooms, you have to put in the work to make sure everybody's connecting, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Did your family do anything like that? Like, did you eat dinners together? every
Yeah,
night,
yeah.
or-
Dinners were always together. My dad would leave for work early in the morning. We would go to school.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would say in the evenings we always usually connected. But when you become a teenager, you want to go out and hang out with friends or play on video games and stuff like that.
Yeah, kids. I feel like that kind of responsibility lies almost on the parents, because kids don't know at that age
Yeah.
that they should be bonding more, and like how that goes so fast. So speaking of like parents and stuff like that, like I know a little bit about your parents' relationship and obviously the way that you grew up, but is there things that you would say you've taken away from like watching your parents?
This has become very therapy. I've asked like 6 questions and now you are.
What do you mean?
No, I like
You
it.
didn't ask any questions?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you didn't even notice I was sliding them in.
Oh, well, I'm sliding mine in.
Yeah,
I just
you
wanted,
just kept answering.
I like the idea of like what you take away from your parents' relationship versus like what you don't. And I'm also curious because obviously I'm your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone knew that, but I'm actually dating Paul. Did they know?
Who?
The listeners. If we have listeners.
They probably knew.
Well, anyway, I'm curious, like as your girlfriend, what things like do you make mental notes of, and you're like, oh, I do not want that for my relationship growing up, or or I do want that.
You're
kind of thing.
saying what I saw from my parents that I would.
That you're like, I would and or would not, like either one.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have
Significant.
kids like in my early 20s like them, early to mid 20s, just because it doesn't. Growing up, it didn't feel like they were ready for it in the sense of their maturity levels.
Yeah, but that's
Was-
common though, especially in West Michigan, to have kids young.
It was in California.
Oh, I don't know much about California.
No, I mean that was
Yeah.
just the 80s and the 90s.
Mhm.
Parents were not waiting till their 40s usually. I mean,
Yeah.
but
So now you're waiting to your 40.
yeah.
Pretty much.
But yeah, it didn't feel like at the time their maturity levels were there. A lot of fighting, sometimes over super small things, sometimes over big things. But I think that waiting, not as long as you can, but waiting a little bit longer, it has its benefits in terms of your maturity level, where you're at financially, in your career. So that's a big one for me. Is I'm kind of glad looking back I didn't have a kid at 21, because I was a mess till at least 30.
Till at least 30.
No, I just couldn't imagine it looking back. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody takes good and bad things from their parents and doesn't want to always implement it into their parenting. But sometimes you just become your dad, you become your mom
Mm-hmm.
by way of proxy, and just from what you've learned and what you know, and it almost seems embedded in your DNA. And,
Yeah.
if you can course correct when you see those things, that's important.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
Are there things you would do differently that you saw growing up?
I think I like my parents' relationship in the sense of I do see them doing like little cute things.
Yeah, they do a lot together.
Yeah, they do a lot together. Their newest thing is pickleball. But even just like when we were at the farmer's market Saturday and my dad, like, my cats are meowing. My dad, like, walked up and he's like, I got your mom this flower for her to take camping for her birthday. Like, that was cute to me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of stuff that I've grown up seeing with my parents,
Right.
even though they do fight over little things. Obviously, my mom's very, I don't know, like, not OCD. I don't want to be like she's OCD, but she's very finicky and controlling when it comes to her surroundings and people and things like that. She likes things a certain way, and like I think she gets really high anxiety when they're not that way. And I've tried my best to like control my portion of that I have definitely inherited from her. In a way.
I think you do have a little bit of OCD, because earlier in that cupboard, something got replaced, like the pancake mix or something, and you had to move something back.
Well, because I was
It
straightening
was
it
kind of
up.
wild to watch.
I was straightening it up.
Yeah, I
It was
know.
all just like scattered. I like things like nicely organized. I
Yeah.
do like organization.
I do too, but where it goes inside that space doesn't matter to me quite much.
It matters to me
Yeah. So you do have a little bit of OCD.
a little bit, but
I think everybody does, though.
Yeah, I did like that, but I didn't like, and what I have always, it's funny because I have a little brother, and I used to always tell him, like, come to me in situations before mom and dad, because sometimes my mom, at least, was very reactionary when I was younger and strict on what, like, she believed and what she thought was right versus wrong, and she did not like... And I felt like I kind of had to fit that mold of like, okay, she thinks that this is the right move to do. So like, if I don't do that, it's wrong.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember
There's
certain
no
instances.
gray area to her.
I mean, maybe there is in her head, but
Yeah.
it's not how I felt as a kid
Right.
and growing up. So I did make a lot of mistakes and do things differently than what I'd 100% my parents would want. Like, obviously, no parents want their kid going through a divorce, especially like
Yeah.
in their 20s and after only like a year of marriage. So I've had to deal with that kind of stuff. But I just remember I just don't want my kids, my future kids, to like have that fear of like, if something isn't quote unquote like the right thing to do via their parents' eyes or what they think their parents would want them to do, it doesn't mean that like is a failure. It doesn't mean that like they messed up, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough because you don't... The traumas you carry with you as an adult, you definitely don't want your kids to go through that, but I think it's inevitable. Every kid is going to have some sort of trauma directly from you. no matter
Yeah.
what.
Oh yeah, for
Doesn't
sure.
matter.
Parents definitely.
You can't be perfect. I think parents try to be perfect, and it's really tough.
Yeah. Well, I
It's-
think that is also the reason that like people hold a lot of trauma is their parents are trying so hard to like control everything and make everything perfect and not have their kids go through the same things they went
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
through. That it's almost like so far on the opposite end
Right.
that it's like
It's
you need to let them
controlling.
live. Yeah, a little bit.
Did you grow up? Were they like religious in the sense of like you knew growing up? Okay, I have to not do certain things because of religion, or it wasn't really strict like that.
I would describe my parents as, I mean, my dad and mom they believe in God. My mom grew up Catholic. My dad was what's it called? Non-denominational. Thank you. But he was a lot more, I think, like spiritual in all. But because my mom grew up Catholic, she did, she never was like, oh, don't have sex before marriage. She just was very much on the course of like, wait as long as you can. And I see the value in that now. But obviously I didn't do that. And I ended up going to my parents and telling them, and that was
What age?
terrible. I was only 16.
Yeah.
So
Seems kind of standard.
yeah, you were young, weren't you?
No. Well, I think everybody under 21 is honestly young.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Nobody knows.
I
what
was
they're doing.
So it would have been the summer after senior year.
Oh, you were like 18.
I might have been 18. Yeah, 18.
Oh, okay. See, my
Yeah.
parents would have been fine with it. Or
I didn't. I
mom.
didn't have sex all of high school.
Wow.
I'm kind of glad.
Is it because no girls liked you?
No, it's because the girl I was seeing, like junior and senior, year, was kind of religious, and I think she had it in her head her parents would kill her, and which is probably true. So and looking back, obviously, I'm glad. I don't think. I mean, kids having sex in high school, I know is going to happen, but it's never going to be.
No.
It's just a
It's
disaster.
not going to be good sex.
No,
Like,
it's a disaster.
not going to be good. No one's like, yeah, I think back to my first time. And
Yeah.
if they're under, like, obviously, like, 20-something, and they're like, oh, that was so good. I knew exactly what I was doing. Like, you and that guy didn't.
I've never met somebody, obviously an adult our age or somewhat near, that's been like, yeah, the best sex of my life was in high school. That's just not a thing. Maybe,
No.
maybe it is, but...
Maybe, like, if you stay with that person, like high school
Oh,
sweethearts, and
sure,
it gets
sure,
better.
Yeah, I guess.
But, I don't know.
So you lost at 16 and you had to tell your parents why?
I didn't have to. I was also in the had the mindset that they were going to kill me if I did. And the guy I was with at the time, I thought I was going to marry him. And
What?
I thought I was going to marry him.
You had marriage in your mind at 16?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to marry this
No.
man. I mean, he was a little older. He was 18
Still.
at the time, I think, maybe 19.
Yeah.
And I thought for a long time I was going to marry him. Even like
How long were you together?
in the end, so it's complicated because we officially dated from my junior year of high school until my sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
Sophomore year we broke up, and the summer after sophomore year we kind of got like quasi back together again, but it didn't work out. We didn't have like we didn't solve anything, obviously. Broke up again, and then we remained like pretty good friends. Like we would hang out. I would have boyfriends and still hang out with this guy.
Pause it.
Okay, I can make it work. Sorry, we had to take a quick break. Our camera wasn't recording.
Yeah. The memory was full.
Memory's full.
That's my bad.
That's a pause.
Still learning little things 3 episodes into this.
3 episodes in.
So there probably will not be audio on YouTube for this one.
No video, no audio.
Or sorry, video.
video.
Yeah.
Which is fine. People listen to it.
Darn it.
Anyway,
I forgot what we were talking about.
I was talking about the guy that I lost my virginity to.
Damn it.
But you asked how
So
long
you
we were
told-
together.
Well, no, you told your parents. I don't care about that. You told your parents. You said you felt like you had to tell your mom.
Yeah, I felt like they were like super religious, and then in
Oh.
that sense that I was going to get in trouble. But I wanted to tell them because I felt like I honestly was like, I am going to hell. So I told them. I just kind of,
wow.
and I formed it like, I think I need to get on birth control. And my mom was like, are we too late to be having this conversation? And then it just erupted. They called the boy, told him he could never see me again. I
Oh,
got
wow.
grounded, had no technology, wasn't allowed to ride the bus to school.
Oh, no.
Couldn't go like to my neighbor's house. I remember like I would pretend to go on runs so that I could go vent to like all of my best like guy friends, and pretty much lived in my neighborhood. And I was super close to like their parents just because we had all grown up together from like kindergarten. And I would like pretend to go on a run, and I'd run to his parent, like this guy's, his name was Brad, but I'd run to his parents' house so I could like talk to his parents about like what was going on and get like an update on how like this guy was. And yeah, it was, and I like my best friend in high school, her boyfriend, who was best friends with, we always dated best friends pretty much, was best friends with my boyfriend at the time, gave me a burner phone so I could get in contact with him. And,
Whoa.
it was honestly insane. It was like an insane half a junior year into senior year, like crazy.
Yeah, I don't want my kids to feel scared if that natural thing happens in life, you know?
Yeah, because it definitely gave me a bad relationship with sex for a while.
Yeah.
Because I always like associated it with like guiltiness, I guess.
I never looked at sex on like a scale of religion. That never happened for me.
No.
Where I was like, oh, I'm going to hell if I do this.
Oh.
Never.
Yeah, I feel like though, and they feel like this is true for you. I don't know. I guess you'll have to answer it, but like, I feel like for you, sex is just sex. Like, there's not necessarily any meaning behind it or like emotional connection behind it in the sense.
No.
No,
I
because
don't-
I always have felt like that was just like,
Really?
yeah, sex is sex for you. Like, it doesn't.
Well, it
It's
doesn't.
not like meh. It's like meh, like for you
Oh.
in a way. I don't not meh,
No.
but like.
Yeah, that was. What do you mean mad? Like, it's, you know,
Like sex is
warm
sex.
tap water.
No, but just like sex is sex. Like it doesn't really like. It doesn't.
No, I mean it matters.
It doesn't hold. You don't hold that on in any sort of light of like, oh, like I've had sex with this girl. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, but like, it is important to me because obviously, no relationship is going to work if the sex is bad long term.
Well, yeah.
No relationship's going to thrive if
Yeah.
the sex is bad. I guess you could stay together, married couples stay together for.
I'm thinking more of like. Not necessarily like you hold the sex like it has to be good in order for the relationship to thrive, but more like you find it an important milestone of like, oh, we've had sex. That's an
Can't hear you.
important. Sorry, that's an important milestone. Is like, oh, we've had sex.
Mm.
And I feel like you're just like, oh, whatever.
Like you're saying, if I slept with another girl or, you know, 3 other girls in my lifetime, like that would not to me be an important milestone that I had sex with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, it is an intimate thing. I don't want to. I don't know. I think I overlooked it when I was younger, where I didn't have a lot of emotion behind it. In my 20s.
that was kind of what I was getting at.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. I think when I was more unhappy with myself, I used it as probably a coping mechanism. I would say, because
Like the ability to get a girl to have sex with you, like helped kind of thing, or just like
yeah, or just wanting, or just somebody wanting me.
okay,
I think a lot of people feel that, where somebody else wanting you it feels really good. It's like a
Yeah.
dopamine hit,
yeah, for sure.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
You've never felt that, where like, oh, somebody attractive, or somebody that you're attracted to has an interest.
Like it giving me a dopamine hit,
Like,
or
yeah, or
yeah, yes, I don't, yeah, maybe, I don't know. For me, it's like I'm more emotional, I guess, emotional connection than I am physical.
yeah.
So like, and I also don't necessarily develop feelings for someone unless I think or know there's like a connection there between us.
Oh, yeah.
So I've never really had to worry about like, oh, I like him and he doesn't like me. I have to get him to like me kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I guess, yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. I've just never like felt like, I guess I can relate it to like, if someone gives you a compliment, feeling that like, oh, someone thinks I'm attractive or someone thinks, you know, something like that.
Yeah, like last night we were at the bar and somebody told our friend that, what did he say? She's the most beautiful woman he's ever met.
Yeah, I've ever seen.
Ever seen.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think no matter what the guy looks like, wouldn't you feel kind of good? Would you feel kind of good about that?
No.
You wouldn't?
And
Really?
the reason being is like, yeah, for like a split second, you're like, oh, wait. But then like you think about it and like, I just think men are slimy.
Mm.
And I think that like that man has probably used that same line. Like, and I think that girl, our friend, is super pretty and stuff, but I think it could have been anyone standing next to him at the bar and he would have said that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I don't
Think so?
Yeah, I don't hold it in like any sort of like when men compliment me, I'm like,
Yeah, and
you're
she-
bullshitting.
She might have felt the same way where...
Yeah,
because-
she blew him off. She
yeah,
was like,
she didn't
"Meh."
talk to him. She might have
didn't
felt the
even-
same way where it's like, he's just being slimy and...
Yeah, she basically was like, thanks, and turned around. Because I think women know that now. Like, realistically, like, men who compliment you at bars and out, like, there's no genuinity, like, in their tone or what they're saying. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Is that a word?
Yeah, I made it up.
Genuinity?
Yeah, I made it up.
You just made it up?
Yep.
It could be a word, but...
I'm trying to
I have a
just...
feeling
I'm
it's
using
not.
genuine as a adjective,
Okay.
but, like, in a different way. Describing adjective.
Yeah, I've never said that to a girl I've never met. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
No, but I'm sure you've said some sort of lines that you've used multiple times to women.
Yeah.
Like tricks, like something that you've done a million times. Like you like, oh yeah, this works.
Yeah, I mean, at least to me, I don't really have a pattern like that.
You do though.
Oh. Do I?
You do.
Oh.
And the only reason I say this is because I notice it with me. Like I know that you do things with me you've done with other girlfriends, and that's kind of like a pattern.
Well, I thought you meant like randoms you haven't met, and I'm trying to pick somebody up.
Oh,
I
well,
don't
no,
really
but
have
like,
like
with,
a shtick or a line.
yeah, because you're not like super creepy.
Oh.
Like that's like low lifes do that, right? Or like
Oh,
players who are like, well, it is like no guy who goes up to a random girl at the bar is like, you're the prettiest girl I've ever seen.
What if he actually means it?
Then he would sound different. He'd be like, wow, like you're really pretty. Like I just want to tell you that.
Mm,
You know,
true,
there's like
true,
a
true.
totally different, way to say it. It wouldn't
Yeah.
come out the way he did it.
Yeah, he didn't follow up. He walked away, and
Yeah.
he expected her to like crawl to him.
Or he was just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what he got out of that.
I don't either. That it was kind of useless in that moment.
And like just
Like,
looking at him,
follow
I
up,
was like,
bruh.
oof.
Follow
Well, I
up.
mean, she did basically just be like, thanks, and turn around.
Yeah,
so
yeah, she
he was
did.
probably like, oh, it didn't work.
There wasn't much
moving
response
on.
there.
No, and good for her. She doesn't need to respond to that.
Yeah, have you ever been hit on by a guy and you're like, it's kind of cheesy, but it worked? Like at the bar?
And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. Again, it's hard. I feel like I'm a very direct person, and if I want someone, I'm gonna go after them, and I'm gonna make the moves. But I just no cheesy things just never.
I can't
I
see
know.
you really flirting.
What
Like
do you mean?
flirting.
Did I not flirt with you? I flirt with you.
I guess.
What do you mean flirting? Like
I don't know.
Like what?
I feel like the flirting with me was more you just asking questions and getting to know me.
yeah.
It wasn't like inappropriate type of like
I don't know.
like questions. I don't know.
Well, what would you expect like a woman to flirt?
I don't know.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do some like sappy
Like one time I was at a bar and they had one of those bowls that you can ride.
the wild bull.
Yeah. And I rode it and I got off and this girl was like, I want to buy you a drink or something. Like that. I couldn't see you doing that because she liked the way I read the bowl. She really enjoyed it.
I just got such to the ick for you. Ew. You make me have the ick every day from things you say. Paul, also, you like to you talk yourself up like you're this hot shot. Like so many girls have hit on you and they like just adore you.
That was like one of 3. But I couldn't see you
Yeah.
doing that. I couldn't see you doing that.
Something
Something
like
like
I
that,
want to
I
buy
guess.
you a drink.
Yeah.
No, but like I'm
No.
gonna get the guy to buy me a drink, for sure.
All right.
But I also, if I
Fair.
saw a guy ride a bull, I wouldn't be like, oh, I like the way you ride. Like, let me buy you. Like, that's fucking weird. That's weird. Like, that's, and the thing is, like, did that girl amount to anything with you?
No, because I had a girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I was like, maybe a one night stand, but that girl's not
No,
going to end
no,
up
no,
with
no,
you.
no.
And I've never had a one night stand, nor,
The one that got away.
God, you say that about literally every girl you've been with is the one that got away.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You've never had a one night stand where it was
No.
like, You had never, you just met him that day,
Nope.
and you didn't see him ever again after that.
No, I don't think I could. I don't think I could. I do not work like that. I have realized that like I think I need the emotional connection to like have good sex and want that. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I saw a really hot guy at the bar and like I want to go home with him. I don't know.
Do you think you can have good sex from a one night stand, like just to have fun and then get out of there if you both know what it is? Or no, you have to be emotionally connected.
I think I have to be emotionally connected.
Really?
I don't think that's how it is for everyone. I think a
No.
lot of people don't have to have that, but I know that I do. I think that's just how I work. Because like even if like you and I are like not in a great place, like let's say we're fighting a lot that day, or I don't feel like we've really hung out a lot and we have sex, I don't think it's really that good. I'm like mad about it. Usually I'm like, oh, okay, could have done without that, but.
Oh. So,
And it's nothing on you. It doesn't mean the sex was any different. It just, to me, isn't as good without that connection, which is why I think that, like,
That's
I
fair.
need that in a relationship, and that needs to be a big emphasis because otherwise sex is bad to me.
don't you think, what's the point of makeup sex?
Well, I think there's a lot of emotion in making up after a fight.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you make up after a fight and then you have sex, it's like you probably just went through, like, this big, like, eye-opening conversation of, like, I won't do that to you. I love you so much. Oh, I'm so sorry. And it's like,
So
you know,
sorry, baby. I won't
Okay.
do it again.
and then you do it again. You're horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I have had one night stand. Honestly, maybe only one. Now that I think about it, and it actually was pretty decent. But I think both of us knew, at least I knew.
Were you drunk?
Yeah, but not that bad.
Okay.
Not that bad. Not that intoxicated.
You met at a bar and then went home.
Yeah, literally that night. And it was fun, but I had no intention of seeing them again.
Yeah.
None. But
Which I think, I mean, no one gets hurt in that thing because, I mean, the girl probably wasn't expecting to see you again either and didn't want to.
Yeah.
You're going to say,
No,
yeah,
she
did.
never contacted me.
Yeah, she probably didn't care.
No.
But-
I think she's okay.
But I've also honestly never been single for that long.
True.
Like, I think the longest stint of me being single was my entire sophomore year of college. It was probably the longest time.
Did you do some damage?
No.
Really?
I really didn't. I mean, like, I just kept
Not good or
getting into,
bad?
like, things. Like, situationships,
Yeah.
basically. Like, I went to bars and stuff and parties. I would make out with guys and stuff at the parties, but I never wanted to take them home. I was like, meh about it, taking them home. But I think also maybe I didn't have the one night stands back then because I still was holding that trauma of, like, I got in a shit ton of trouble because I had sex with a guy I thought I was going to marry for my parents. So, like, to me, sex was still, like, meh kind of thing. And that was right after the breakup. But then, I mean,
I think.
other than that, meh.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hold it in a healthy place. I don't. What I did in my 20s, using it as like a way to, like find happiness, is I highly do not recommend that. So I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for needing that connection to, for it to be good or, to enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean,
You've never had good sex with somebody where you're like, I don't really like them, but that was fun.
no.
Oh.
Even like boyfriends that I knew it was going to like end kind of like, it wasn't going in a good direction. It kind of like the sex was like bad, I would say. Like it was like, this is not really that fun. Probably should stop doing this before we
Interesting.
break up. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
There was only like,
Everyone's different.
yeah. I would say there was one guy that I felt like even when we were fighting, it was still good. But I think I just really liked that guy. I had like a very like big infatuation with that man. So, yeah.
You get obsessed with men.
No, I don't.
You thought you were going to be married at 16.
Every girl thinks they're going to marry their
Oh.
high school sweetheart.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not think the same way.
Because you're a guy.
marriage, it's like, wow, do you think I'm going to be able to afford that in
You
like
also
2
were
years?
you also were in California. I was born and raised in West Michigan. So like, yeah, of course I
Small
thought, you
town.
know. And this guy would say it to me, obviously. Like, we're like, oh, we're going to get married.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
At 18, I had zero thoughts
yeah.
of that.
No, he did.
Zero.
He definitely did.
That's insane.
We had like a plan and everything.
Oh my God.
For sure. I mean, yeah. But it also was a lot harder to let this guy go within my... I think the only reason we stopped talking was because I got married to my husband at the time.
Holy hell.
But before that, I
You
mean...
have been talking that long?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, not like talking like, oh, we were like flirting
Right,
and
right.
hooking up or anything. Obviously not. But like, yeah, I mean, my ex-husband had met him and everything. We'd hung out together and stuff.
Damn.
And then in between, like when I wasn't seeing someone, would like talk about potentially dating again, trying to date again. But after I got married, he actually got married like a month later, like randomly, which was
Whoa.
so weird.
Like eloped?
Yeah, I kind of felt like he eloped. It was kind of, I just don't, it was weird. And then basically he blocked me on everything. So I think that he couldn't talk to me, and I don't think I could talk to him either.
Yeah.
In that way, I don't know.
I mean, that's good. Blocking's good if you
Yeah.
you got to resist the temptation.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like temptation to like go back to him or like flirt with him or anything, but I think there was just a lot of emotions connected to that first love.
I don't. That's insane that you. Do not have that to my first quote unquote love.
Yeah, but you did to like your
I guess it came
second
later.
love or whatever you call it. Yeah.
Nothing in high school to me was love.
Yeah.
It was more just like discovery.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
I dated him until he was 21,
Yeah,
22.
yeah.
So like, I think it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But you've had that before. It's not like you haven't.
Yeah.
I just had mine earlier, and then no
Yeah.
guy until the guy I married felt like that.
Mm.
So, yeah.
It's intense. So what's been going on with your running? Even though we're not supposed to talk about running on this podcast.
Nothing.
You're, 8 weeks out from Chicago Marathon?
Yeah, I'm not ready.
You're ready.
No. I feel it way less like
Since
fit.
the last podcast, we've ran a couple of 5Ks.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
And I hate when you tell people I raced a 5K like yesterday.
What do you mean?
You were like, oh, yeah, Mac raced a 5K.
Why is that bad?
Because I ran 17 miles before that 5K.
Well, it was just a rate. Like it was.
But it
a
wasn't
race.
like I didn't race it.
I understand. But
Like I
it
did
was-
race it to my abilities at that
Yeah,
moment, but like
yes.
I don't want people
Nobody
thinking that like I was
cares.
like on the starting line ready to like
No,
kick butt.
nobody cares.
I
It's a
care.
local 5K.
I care. What other kind of 5Ks are there?
Yeah, but
There's
but
only
like
local
good
ones.
One,
Like what?
no, it's like a local family. You know, people holding hands and walking.
So
kind
was the
of
turkey
5K.
trot?
But like Tracksmith ones.
That's not like a common thing. Like
I
Tracksmith
understand.
5K.
I understand. Nobody's thinking like, oh, I really hope Mac didn't blow that Mitchell's Run 5K.
I know that. I'm just
You know,
saying. Well, Paul, what are
through
your
the
plans?
cornfields.
We weren't in cornfields at all, everyone. We weren't. Yeah, Paul, what's
You
your
know what I
plan?
mean.
You have no plan.
What do you mean?
Are you doing the marathon in Detroit or no?
It's hard to say.
You should probably decide because you're 8 weeks out almost.
Yeah, but I have been running consistently. My miles are going up.
Okay.
And, you know, doing long
Heavy,
runs.
though?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done all your track days with you as of recent. Yeah.
You've done like the last 3.
Right.
Oh, whatever you want to do.
I'll be all right.
I'll be rooting
I've
for
been
you.
intentional about increasing my mileage.
I feel
You
like
know,
I have something that weekend going on.
10% each week. Just keeping it slow to avoid injury.
Yeah, even though he should be doing his 20 miler in like 2 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, might be
Could
able
be.
to. I did 18 the other day, right? Last week in
Right.
Denver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were in Denver.
We're in Colorado.
Colorado. We just got back. It's fun.
Yeah, it was
Hiked some mountains.
exhausting, but fun.
Got up early every day.
Yep. Did some work at altitude, which was great.
I don't feel. I guess I really haven't ran like a easy aerobic run to feel.
I didn't feel different in when I ran here. Like my easy runs, but my heart rate was so low, like 120s.
Yeah.
And usually that would be like in the 130s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only change I saw. You
Yeah,
know.
it is shockingly hard to breathe I would say past like 12,000 feet. Right around there. Maybe even 11. It's just hard to breathe.
It's hard to breathe in Denver. That's
Yeah.
5,000.
I didn't feel it too much there. Just
I
because
felt
we
like
were going so high up some of those days
going
and then
down.
coming back to
Yeah,
Denver.
yeah. I think it was just hard because we put in some hard efforts, but like
Yeah.
Boulder didn't feel hard when we were running there.
Mm-mm. Nope. It was a good time though. I want to go back, honestly.
Well, I'll
really
live
wanna
there
go
if you
back.
want to go. Actually, I don't need to wait for you. I can go there and live there on my
Okay.
own.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah.
Me and the cats will stay right here.
No, I'm gonna take my cats with me.
You
And
think
I'm
they
gonna
could
take
do
your
that
dog.
long of a road trip?
Yeah,
Oof.
I do. Or I'd fly them.
Can you fly cats? I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, you just have to register them as service.
They go on the
animals.
plane?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought they went like in the bag, like where the bags are in a cage.
If they're not registered as service animals,
Oh.
but I would register them because I'm not having them go under the plane. That's sad. You would have to bring one, and I'd have to bring one.
Oh, God.
And they'd have their little crates, and they'd just meow the whole time.
I'll rehome them.
No, don't
Here.
rehome my babies.
Make them go to the mountains.
Look at, they're just chilling over there. It's funny, they have to be near us.
I know. They have to like see what's going on.
I know. They're like, why is the kitchen rearranged?
Right.
She's so cute, though. I just want to cuddle her. Oh, I want to squish her. I have a cuteness aggression.
Yeah, you do a little bit. Where like you try to hug me sometimes and it's a little violent.
Yeah, because you're just so cute.
It's like a special type of hug.
It's because you're cute. I want to squish you to death. You don't see that when you see like cute animals. You're like, oh
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't ever pet people's dogs really.
no.
I just assume number one they don't want it because I don't really want it with my dog. I just
Why?
let him because he doesn't want to be touched
Yeah, he
by
does.
random strangers.
Dodger loves touches.
Doesn't if he had his choice, he's not getting touched
Most
by a
dogs
bunch by
do like
stab
it, though.
people stabbing their fingers at him.
No one's stabbing any fingers
They
at
are.
anybody. No, they're not.
And I just assume other owners don't want it and the dog doesn't want it.
Okay, well, I don't run up to a dog and touch it. No, I go, oh my God, it's so cute. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And I wait until the...
I don't do that. I'm not above it, but I've seen dogs.
Kind of sounds like you're above it.
It's weird. You've seen like every dog out there. I'm not like, oh, this is different. I want to touch it.
They're still cute.
They're dogs.
Humans are just humans, yet we
I know,
want
I
to touch
don't-
them.
Well, not all of them. Some of them are sticky.
Ew. You look sticky right now, honestly.
It's hot. It's hot in here.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up and get
Oh.
Crew out of this kitchen.
Take
All
my
right,
shirt
everyone.
off. It's been real.
Yeah, we gotta go. It's too hot in here.
We got to upload more frequently. Hopefully, we'll do another one next Sunday.
Yes, we will. 100%.
Get it uploaded by tomorrow.
All right.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.